Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get all the updates. It's every day's video, so it's Tuesday. And Tuesdays I try to test my palate, drink something out of the norm, do a mystery beer, whether it's a style that I don't typically drink, or a coffee, or a spirit, etc., etc. Today's definitely fits the bill. This beer, yes, this is a beer, is courtesy of Keith from 93 Lumber. Thanks so much, Keith. I really appreciate it. Make sure you guys check him out. I will add his channel in the description box below. If you don't know Keith, he's a great guy. He also does beer reviews. So this is Free Will's Dystopias. And I reviewed a decent amount of Free Will at this point, courtesy of Keith. And actually, one of them is still in the running for one of the best beers I've had this year, but I won't tell you which one yet. So Dystopias, if you can't tell, me using a Utopias glass and by the name, this is kind of like Free Will's take on it, their homage, their takedown. I don't know what their heart says about it, if they're like... if this is affectionate or a thumb up at a bigger brewery, I have no idea. But this is definitely a version, is inspired by, I should say, Utopias. I'm pretty well versed in Utopias. I've had 6 of them, 6 vintages I've been able to try, some more in depth than others. And yeah, really excited for this. So like Utopias, this has multiple barrels. It has been aged for a long time. I was reading up on it a little bit, which I typically don't do with beer reviews, but I wanted to know a little bit more about this. So yeah, different barrel blends, different ages. They added a yeast that can get the higher alcohol. This should be about 20% ABV, if I forgot to say that. And they would add sugar sometime to, again, help get that fermentation up, that alcohol up. And like Utopias, the bottle that they sell, they encourage you to pour a little bit and then cap it and let it sit and come back to it another day. Could be well into the future. Drink it more like a spirit, right? So Keith was nice enough to send me a little vial of it. I poured it into this glass. Then I turned on the camera and I just did the intro. And now I'm ready to tell you some things that I think about it. So not that I want this, because I went back and forth. Should I compare this to Utopias or not? I decided, we're going to make it its own thing. But it just kind of remind me of that color. It's got that brown color. There's some red, crimson in there as well. It is still. There's no carbonation. There's not supposed to be. So you're not going to get any lacing or head. But you do get some nice legs on the glass. The legs are pretty clear. Yeah, the legs are pretty clear. Maybe the slightest tan tint to them. But anyway, let's get to the aroma. Deep caramel, raisins, like a lot of dried fruit, plum wine, like a spiced rum, a little bit of almost like a maple, and I don't know what barrels or anything, but like I could see a little bit of bourbon, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's at least one liquid that was aged in a bourbon barrel that's part of this blend, as an example. Very soft vanilla. What else do you get? There's so much. Like, this is definitely one of those live stream kind of reviews where I could, just keep sipping it, keep smelling it for a long period of time and tell you different stuff. Like, I'm very confident that's how this would drink. Like caramel, apple. So much caramel. Yeah, the caramelized sugar notes, it's off the charts. Dates. A little bit of leather, tobacco, little, actually a decent amount of a, what's that called? Like a fruit cake, like a very dense, sweet, brown kind of a cake. Yeah, big time. Man, this is awesome. Man, this is great. All right. Ooh, a little bit of dried banana. I could go on and on. Let's get into taste. I'm super excited. Keith, thank you again. I really appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. And everyone watching, again, make sure you check him out. I will add him in the description box below. Cheers. That's nice. I'm so used to taking like a swig of things. I'm like, oh wait, don't like shoot this. Man, that's got a nice long finish as well. This is nice. This follows the nose pretty well. They're like the nose. There's a lot of complexity. I thought this was going to be a hair sweeter based on the aroma, but it kind of makes sense that the alcohol would help dry this out. So it's not bone dry by any stretch of the imagination, but it's also not, yeah, definitely not as sweet in the taste as you would think based on the aroma. but you still get the caramelized sugar notes, even like a little bit of brown sugar, that sweet brown bread, definitely the dried fruits, the leather, the tobacco, like all that stuff's there. Definitely some like baking spices as well. I think that's the rum and the aroma. If I didn't say it, like a spiced rum specifically, I don't remember if I specified or not, but like that's how it hits. And again, like I was saying with the bourbon, you could tell me some different spirits and I'd be like, yeah, I see that, but bourbon would be one of them. I mean, I know I drink bigger alcohol beers, and I do dabble a little bit with whiskey. Now that it's getting colder, I'm kind of like pouring a little bit, of whiskey more often. But it's not even once a week I have a little pour like this of whiskey or bourbon. But like I say all that to say this, I may have a higher tolerance for higher alcohol beverages just because of what I gravitate towards. So to me, this alcohol does not seem overpowering. But yeah, I mean, it also doesn't drink like a British mild or whatever, right? But for what it is, or again, it should be around 20%. It doesn't have that kind of alcohol, anything that you would think. It's there, don't get me wrong, but it's not ethanol-y. It's not the taste of only alcohol at any point in the sip. So that's really good. Man, this is nice. I'm going to say this is definitely one of those aromas that I wish I could turn into a candle, because I would buy that candle and I would light it every single day when I got home from work because it smells awesome. And even though it has this sweet brown bread thing, it's not quite fruitcake in the taste. It's still sweet bread, but it's not super sweet, but it's not like it doesn't taste like rye bread or pumpernickel. It doesn't go that brown bread thing. Because I said that in a different review recently, where that beer almost had a sweet pumpernickel kind of thing, which I don't know if that sounds appetizing or not, but this is closer to something like a fruitcake, a banana bread, like that kind of a thing, And yeah, this raisin date part of it is it's super nice. This could have been a much longer, live stream kind of review, because I could, then we could be commenting on, with the chat and like revisit it 10 minutes later. I'd probably pick up a couple different things, and maybe some of the stuff I was talking about is less, profound in there, all that sort of thing. I'm sure this would kick out. Keith also has reviewed this, so if you're interested, make sure, again, you check out his channel and his review of this. Like that sip, I finally got a little bit of an alcohol, like just barely creeping into the palate, but still keeping it at bay. And this just has so much other flavor to it that the alcohol is beyond secondary. It's incredible. This is really good. Free Will seems to do a lot of different styles well. They're one of those breweries. They're not just like known for the one style, And even a beer that as wild as this, they crush this. This is really tasty. Keith, I appreciate it, man. This is a kind of a trip. Again, kind of, knowing Dystopias well, it's cool to see their take on it, And again, I don't want to make this a comparison, but it's obviously inspired by, so you can't help but talk about it. But yeah, this is super tasty. So cool on Free. If anyone at Free Will is watching this, good on you guys for doing this, and I think you did a really good job with it. Have you guys had this beer before? Have you had Dystopias? Have you had a beer that was 20%? You want to tell me about anything, everything? Comment section below. Let's get a conversation going. Once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out on Instagram and Untapped. It's No Hype Beer Reviews, both those places. So please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.